I didn't know the bride was going to scream. I thought she would cry quietly like most girls do on their wedding day. But when she saw what was inside that small clay pot, she screamed so hard that even the drummers stopped playing. And that was the day I learned something. Some marriages are not for human beings. This happened in my village in southeastern Nigeria. I won't mention the exact name because people still fear talking about it. I was about 19 then. I was not a small boy anymore, but I was still young enough to follow elders around and carry things during ceremonies. That year, there was a girl named Amara. Amara was beautiful, calm, and respectful. She sold palm oil with her mother. She was the kind of girl every man wanted to marry. Even my cousin wanted her. But something was wrong with her family. For years, Amara's mother kept refusing marriage offers, not because she hated the men, but because she was afraid. People said Amara's father died in a strange way. He went to the river one morning and never came back. They found his slippers on the sand. That was all. Some people said he drowned, but the old women in the village said, that man didn't drown. He was taken. Nobody asked. Taken by who? Because everybody already knew the answer. In our village, we have a river called Amara. That river is not like other rivers. It is deep and quiet. Even when the wind is strong, the surface stays calm like a mirror. The elders say the river has owners, not humans. One evening, Amara fell sick. Not normal sickness. She started talking in her sleep. She would wake up and start walking outside like she was being called. Her mother began to cry every day. Then, one night, Amara disappeared. They searched everywhere. They checked farms. They checked the road. They even checked the church. Nothing. Until early morning. A fisherman ran into the village shouting, "She is at the river." We all followed him. When we got there, we saw Amara standing near the water. Her feet were inside the river, but she wasn't sinking. She was standing like the water was hard ground. Her eyes were open, but she wasn't blinking. She looked like a person who was awake, but not really there. And the strangest part was her smile. It wasn't her normal smile. It was too wide, too calm. The elders came quickly. They didn't panic. They didn't ask questions. They only said one thing. It has started. That sentence made my stomach cold. They carried Amara back home. When she finally woke up, she acted normal. She even ate, but she refused to talk about what happened. Anytime her mother asked, she would just say, "I am fine." But her voice was not her voice. It sounded deeper, like an older woman speaking inside her. 2 days later, something happened that shook the whole village. A group of old men came to Amara's compound. They were from the shrine side of the village. They didn't greet anybody. They walked straight into the house and sat down. Then the oldest man said, "She has been chosen." Amara's mother started shaking. She begged them, "Please, leave my daughter alone." The old man looked at her and said something that still haunts me today. "You should be happy. Not every family gets this honor." Honor. That word made me angry, but nobody talked back. Even Amara's uncles stayed quiet. Then the man added, "She will be married in 3 days." Married, but no man had come to pay bride price. No man had brought wine. So who was she marrying? Everybody knew. She was being married to the gods of the river. That night, I couldn't sleep. People were whispering outside. Some said it was a lie. Some said it was real. But the oldest women were not surprised. They only said, "This is not the first time." On the wedding day, the whole village was forced to attend. It wasn't like a normal wedding with joy. It felt like a funeral. They dressed Amara in white wrapper and beads. They painted her face with chalk. They tied her hair in a style I had never seen before. She looked beautiful, but her eyes were empty, like she wasn't inside her body anymore. I was among the young men asked to follow the elders to the river. We were carrying calabashes, palm wine, and cola nuts. The drummers were beating drums slowly. Not fast, not happy, slow. Like warning drums. When we reached the river, the air changed. I swear, even the birds stopped making noise. The water was too still. Then the priest from the shrine brought out a small clay pot. He held it up and started speaking in a low voice. Nobody understood the words, but Amara did, because she suddenly smiled again, that wide smile. Then the priest opened the pot, and that was when Amara screamed. She screamed and tried to run, but two women held her tight. The drumming stopped. People stepped back. I wanted to run too, but my legs were weak. I didn't see everything inside the pot clearly, but I saw enough. Inside that pot was something moving. Something like hair, something like skin, and something that looked like a small human finger, fresh, like it was just cut. The priest dipped his hand inside the pot and rubbed the contents on Amara's forehead. Amara cried like a child. She shouted, "Please, I don't want to go." Amara was still inside her body. She was trapped. Then the priest said loudly, "She has accepted." But she didn't accept anything. She was fighting. They led her to the edge of the river. Her mother ran forward screaming, but the men pushed her back. The priest told Amara to step into the water. She refused. Then the old man leaned close to her ear and whispered something. Amara suddenly became quiet. Her face went blank. She stepped into the water by herself. 1 step, 2 steps. The water reached her waist, then her chest, then her neck. She did not struggle. She just kept walking, like someone was pulling her. The river did not splash. It did not move. It opened around her, like she belonged there. Then her head went under, and she disappeared. Just like that. No bubbles. No waves. Nothing. It was like she was never there. Everyone stood in silence. Then the priest smiled and said, "It is done." And people started walking away slowly, like nothing happened, like they didn't just watch a human being vanish. That night, I couldn't eat. I couldn't talk. I kept seeing Amara's face going under the water. But what scared me most was something else. When I went outside to urinate behind our house, I heard a sound, soft singing, coming from the direction of the river. A woman's voice. It sounded like Amara, but it was not fully her voice. It sounded like her voice mixed with something older, something cold. I froze. Then I heard another voice, deep and rough, like it was coming from under the ground. They were singing together, like husband and wife. I ran inside and locked the door. I didn't sleep till morning. After that day, Amara's mother went mad. She would sit by the roadside and talk to herself. Sometimes she would shout, "They took her! They took my daughter!" People avoided her like she was cursed. Months passed. Then one day, During dry season, something happened again. A boy went missing. He was about 8 years old. They searched everywhere. 2 days later, they found his body near the river. His eyes were wide open. His mouth was open too, like he died screaming. And on his chest, there were marks, like small hands pressed him down. Small hands with long nails. After that, elders warned everybody. No one should go near the river at night. They even said, young girls should not fetch water alone. But the truth is, it was already too late, because the river had already taken a bride. And people say, once the gods marry from your land, they will keep coming back for more. Till today, I still fear that river. Even as an adult, I can't stand close to it. And anytime I hear wedding drums at night, I remember Amara, and I remember her last scream. Because that scream was not the scream of a bride. It was the scream of a person who realized too late that the marriage was real, and the groom was not human.